What's good, YouTube? It's your boy Trevi Trev, and I'm back with another video. This video is going to be a little bit dark in tone, and I'm going to keep it real a lot of the times in this video because I just got finished working out. I'm preparing for my PT test. I'm getting ready. I'm doing what I got to do because I got to go back. I got to go back to the military, and all of this, enjoying my facial hair and all this other stuff, it has to go because I got to get back locked in. But I wanted to make this video because it's been very near and dear to my heart. And ever since I've been back in regular society, I've noticed the difference between us military people and us civilian folks. Because, bro, everybody, I don't know what it is. They could just tell them in the military, probably how I stand, how I carry myself. But they keep asking me about the war. They keep asking me about the war. What do I think about the war and all that other stuff? And granted, I'm a member of the military, so I have to be non-biased, I have to be neutral, and I have to follow orders. But I do have a couple opinions about the war, and I'm not really going to touch on them because I'm going to remain a professional. But I will touch on what I believe in terms of what we do as the military, what we fight for, and what we stand for, because I have a difference in opinion compared to a lot of people. And these are entirely my opinion. They're not the opinions of the military or nothing like that. But my opinion is basically that we have to remember why we fight. We have to remember why we fight and why we do what we do. And it's to protect people. And even if you don't agree with what's going on in the political landscape or what is going on in the Middle East or whatever, we have a job to do. We have a job to do, and we got to put our personal feelings aside and do what needs to be done. Because granted, I'm not going to touch on my opinion that much, but do I agree with this shit all the time? No. Do I support some of it? Yes. But I'm just like indifferent, I'm indifferent and I'm down the middle because there's a lot of things going on that people don't understand, and they look at things at surface value instead of the big picture and what is going on. And people have to learn to look at things beyond surface values because lives are at stake. Lives are at stake. Our way of life is at stake. There's different factors involved in decision making, and people got to understand that above all else, because this is all for safety. This is all for a lot of different moving pieces, and this is all for things to support the country. And there's things bigger than me at play. So, I tend to, listen to what other people are saying, gather as much information as I can, and make an informed decision about what I do and how I maneuver. But a lot of people, they don't look at the world that way. They always say, oh, I saw this on social media. I saw this on social media. It's not fucking true. It's not true. And when you look at things beyond surface value, you start to understand that. Because a lot of people have some stupid ass opinions, and it makes me mad because a lot of people I know personally are risking their lives overseas. A lot of people have died in this conflict. A lot of people have given their life and made the ultimate sacrifice that I may one day have to do. And people say this, and that, and it's borderline disrespectful because they don't know what they're talking about. And just like assholes, everybody has an opinion. Everybody has an asshole and everybody has an opinion. But people shouldn't say certain things because it's wrong. It's wrong. And, you don't know the full story, and you shouldn't talk about things you don't know about, because it broke my heart to see that that one private in the Army, she passed away through a strike at 19 years old. She paid the ultimate price fighting in this conflict. And people had this and that to say about her when she's a hero. She was doing the hard work that nobody else would do, and she just happened to die in the conflict. And it's sad because that person didn't get a chance to really start their life. They joined the military under the pretense of, oh, I'm going to better my life. I'm going to better myself. I'm young, but I want to do this to improve my life. And they gave the ultimate sacrifice. And the things that people have to say about this is just wrong, and it's not true. And I really feel for the family because they have to go through a wider range of emotions. And it's caused me to think about my life and my friends and the things I care about, and how my role in the world has an impact on other people, despite me not necessarily thinking about it. And, I remember why I fight. I fight to better myself. I fight for the people I love. I fight for a lot of different reasons. And to see that girl just have her life taken away in an explosion like that, or an attack, it's like it made me rethink everything that I thought about previously, because a lot of people care about me. When I come back to work, a lot of people celebrated me coming back to work, and they were telling me thank you for your service and a lot of things that I appreciate that I didn't appreciate before. But when I see people take for granted that people fight for them, that people say this and that, when in other countries they wouldn't have the right to say this stuff, it pisses me off. And it's like, dude, come on, bro. You're saying all this stuff, but you won't go out there and fight for your own country. You won't fight for the people you love. You won't fight for anything but yourself, but you have so much to say. And it's caused me to just reevaluate how I perceive the world and how I perceive people, because at their core, people are like really selfish and they tend to say things without thinking, without getting information. And they're very like dronish and mob mentality, and they don't have critical thinking skills, but they have so much to say. And it's sad. So I want you guys as my viewers to look beyond like the story, look beyond that, and just think of the human element. Think of what this family is going through. Think of what the families in the conflict are going through. Think of what the people are going through, and have some fucking empathy. Have some empathy, because a lot of y'all just say this, and that on social media, and then you go get some Starbucks or some shit, or you see bad things going on and y'all don't make no kind of difference. Y'all just say, oh, that's the way it is. But no, things can change if you vote. Things can change if you actually take a stand and make a change and actually care about people besides like the headlines and stuff. So, you know, you got to remember why you fight in this world. You got to remember why you do the things you do, and you have to think before you say things. And that's the message I want to put out, because I'm seeing this, and that. And it's like, it's hard to be a part of the military and have people talk like this, and it's basically ripping your chest apart because you want to react to it, but you're like, bro, I know the truth. I know the truth, and I can't just give into dogma like other people. And I just have to remember that at the end of the day, I'm fighting for a purpose. And, you know, I'm not necessarily like into war and all that stuff, but I see why I have to fight and do the things I do. And I understand that more so than when I did previously before I joined. But anyway, I wanted to make this video to kind of talk about that situation and tell you guys as my viewers, be informed, make the right decisions. If you want to, you know, learn about things with the country, do your research and stick to the facts instead of what's in the news, what people are saying, because it's like these politicians, they'll lead you astray. These people will lead you astray. But at the end of the day, if you do your research and you think critically, you'll come to the conclusion that is truth. That is true, and that means the most. And you won't say things that are disrespectful to people who give their lives when you necessarily won't. But anyway, I wanted to make this video to talk about that. Hopefully you guys like, comment, and subscribe, and let me know what you guys think. And I'm out.